Our next award is the Phillip Iglehart Award. And let me read to you a little bit about the qualifications for the award. The Phillip Iglehart Award is given to recognize exceptional lifetime contributions to the sport of polo, either on a regional or a national level. And our first inductee tonight to receive that award more than qualifies on every point in that statement. Our first inductee is Jorie Butler Kent. An iconic figure in U.S. polo, Jorie Butler Kent was born into the sport. Her grandfather and father, F.O. Butler and Paul Butler, founded the Oak Brook Polo Club in Illinois. Jorie achieved many firsts, helping to break barriers for women in polo. She was the first woman to manage a polo club, taking on that role from 1968 till 1979 at Oak Brook, then the world's largest private polo facility with 14 polo fields and stabling for 400 horses. Jorie was a champion equestrian and competitive polo player. She continued making history as one of the first women to receive a USPA handicap in 1972, and as a coach and manager for the high goal Rolex Abercrombie and Kent team. An accomplished breeder of polo ponies and a respected polo pony judge, the USPA recognized her talent and asked her to research and update the rules for judging Best Polo Pony. Jorie was an original social influencer and secured polo's first major international corporate sponsors, and helped guide the success of many polo operations, including Palm Beach, Greenwich, and Windsor Polo Clubs, as well as the Museum of Polo and Hall of Fame. Here to accept her award tonight is Jorie Butler Kent and her daughter, Roy Butler, and Adam Butler as well.
Talk close to the microphone.
I was told close to the microphone that will help more to lower it. I'm so touched by this event tonight, I can't say my words. Closer? Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I won't bore you by starting over again. But let me just say this is an honor beyond all honors that I've ever received. I am so deeply touched. And all I can say is the fun and the joy and the happiness that our horses and our polo gave us and all of our friends worldwide is never to be matched by any other sport. And I'm just so happy to have all of you here to celebrate with me the sport that we love the most. Bless polo, may it go on forever and ever. In the meantime, I'll stop going on and have my daughter say a few words.
Well, I'm going to try not to cry. I'm so proud of you, Mama. You're so amazing.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you also, though this is Mummy's speech, most of it. I ad-lib a little bit here. Thank you, Marty, and thank you also to the Museum of Polo's Board of Directors for this tremendous honor, and to the museum's Brenda Lynn and George DuPont, and to our wonderful Norma Cook, who wrote the application, right? Nomination, thank you for the right word. Polo for Mummy was a game that she grew up with, a family legacy that began in 1922 when Mummy's grandfather, F.O. Butler, and Mummy's father, Paul Butler, established the legendary Oak Brook Polo Club, and it became the 4th club in the United States. she's so proud to be here tonight with me, Jorie Butler, her daughter, and my partner, Manuela. Jorie shares my deep love and passion for polo. Jorie sponsored and played on all women's teams at Oak Brook that won every tournament they entered. Thank you, Mommy. And in those same years, Jorie and her men's teams won almost all the tournaments they played. And
The men were terrified.
Cecil Smith, the legendary Cecil Smith, who was 10 goals for 25 years, who was your daddy's pro,
Correct.
taught Jorie how to swing, which is probably why she was so wickedly accurate. My nephew Adam, here tonight with his wife Michelle and their son Liam, also played polo in Oak Brook. He learned at the knee of my brother Michael and Michael's legendary trainer, James Rice. Do you all remember James? Also an Iglehart Award winner, much deserved.
Right.
I'm also delighted to have Jim Jorie here. Jim brought polo back to Oak Brook and the Oak Brook tradition for more than a dozen years. Jim?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim, says Mommy. Our entire family was with Jim in 2022 to celebrate Oak Brook Polo Club's 100th anniversary. In 1963, when Mummy was first tasked with managing the club until 1979, when she turned over the reins to brother Michael, Oak Brook was the world's largest private polo facility, which you've heard, 14 polo fields, 400 horses. And between 1954 and 1978, it was home to the U.S. Open for all but 3 years, having the renowned Hall of Fame player Cecil Smith at my side, says Mother, throughout those years made every season a pleasure. A decade later, in 1972, Sue Sally Hale and I became the first 2 women to be registered as members of the USPA. And Mother had a lot to do with that, I want to let you know, because she really, really, really thought Sue should get in, and Sue should get in first. I
Yes,
salute you for
she
that.
did.
Yeah, and she should, and you did. You were great. Ginger Merchant soon joined the ranks, and Mummy was thrilled recently to learn from Brenda Lynn that now almost half the members of the USPA are women.
Hallelujah.
In 1971, I met Jeffrey Kent. Mother met Jeffrey Kent. When the Kenya Polo team he captained was in Oak Brook for a series of international matches. The next year, we became equal partners in Abercrombie and Kent, which was his family's safari company in Kenya, each owning a 50% share. We established A&K International and headquartered it in Oak Brook, enabling us to work together on developing and expanding A&K to 55 offices around the globe. That first office was above one of the barns. They rolled down some carpet, put down telex wire.
Moved over this hay bales.
Oh yeah, we had to move the hay bales out of the way. And also, they were able to stay thoroughly involved in high goal polo in Oak Brook, which I think was probably the most important part of it. In 1977, our A&K team entered the U.S. Open and finished last. Jeffrey was not pleased. Mother was less pleased. The next year, however, they found a fabulous pro in Antonio Herrera, and Jeff said, "What do I need to do?" Antonio said, "You need to learn to play polo." So the next year, captained by Jeff, coached by Mother, with 2 new players, A&K won the U.S. Open in Oak Brook and the Gold Cup in Milwaukee. Pretty quick study. In 1981, Mummy was able to enlist Rolex as the first international polo sponsor. As Rolex A&K, we were victorious again that year, winning the U.S. Open at Rotama, U.S. Gold Cup in Oak Brook, and in time winning the Butler Handicap twice, the Continental Cup twice, the Cadillac Cup, the Cartier Cup, and the Rolex World Cup. One of the greatest pleasures in my life was breeding polo ponies on our family's Sun Ranch in Montana, where we raised both horses and cattle. Growing up, our ponies were used behind cattle, which was perfect training for polo ponies. They engaged their haunches, turned nimbly, stopped quickly and safely. Our cowboys had wonderful skills and easily trained our ponies to have beautiful mouth and rein. I'm ever grateful to Del Carroll, whom I'm sure many of you remember, to be the first person to whom he lent his brilliant Hall of Fame polo-playing stallion Magazin at stud. During the 1981 U.S. Open at Retama, a number of the Rolex A&K string of ponies were stricken with equine flu before the finals. They had 17 horses left, that was it, and they didn't have time to bring in horses from out of state. The team had to double back on the best ponies and use them twice. My eyes water as I think about it, as I think about Ambicelli, my fabulous stallion who was sired by Magazin. He went out for 2 periods and he did another half period, 2.5 periods.
Brilliant horse.
They won.
Brilliant.
As chair of the USPA in the early 1970s, Billy Ilvasacker asked me to research and update the rules for judging best playing pony. Judging was a great passion of mine, and I happily agreed. I have wonderful memories of the judges I served with across the US and in the UK, the matches and the skill and the courage of the ponies we judged. I first met His Royal Highness Prince Charles at Cowdrey Park when he was 19, and we found that we not only shared a great love of polo, but also deep care and concern for our world's fragile environment. In 1987, Prince Charles asked Jeff to captain his Windsor Park polo team for the high goal season in England. And for our next 4 summers, we spent there playing with the Windsor team, our team, the Windsor team, with the Prince of Wales. Prince Charles was at 4, Jeff was captain, Mother's role once again at coach. Do you remember the picture of Mother standing there pointing like this and almost in the nose of the Prince of Wales at the time? The team in front of her looking at her intently, and she loves the picture. She said, "Yes, they knew I was right."
I just want you all to know I asked Roy to read all these notes that I wrote down because I can't see well enough to do it. But I'm so grateful to her to sharing all this laughter with my dear friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you to the entire polo community for the honor of being a part of the world's oldest sport. I remain grateful, ever grateful for my lifelong friends and the cherished memories that polo has given me. Big love to all of you.